And there are 9 steps that I took to achieve financial freedom and become a millionaire while still on active duty in the Marine Corps. Today, we're going to talk about all of them. So let me just throw this out there. If you don't know who I am, first off, Dave. I was broke as shit in the Marine Corps after 7 years serving. Did all the normal mistakes that everyone else does, right? Tattoos, motorcycles, cars, booze, supplements when deployed, taking women out, blowing all my money on dates, like whatever, you name it, right? All the mistakes that you can make as a young service member. Been there, done that. Hell, I got the tattoo to show it. And then I was like, wow, this sucks. Let me figure my life out, because someone handed me the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and that changed my life. And in 5.5 years, I went from negative net worth, like broke, to millionaire, over 100 rental units, financially free, able to leave the military the year after that and never have to work again. We're now we're coming up next month on 3 years of being out of the military, not having to work a job, just doing this stuff for you guys, and have a shitload of real estate. Life is not terrible. It's really not. I have, on multiple months this year, made more money than I ever did in a single year while serving, right? So in a month, do the math. Now there's expenses there and employees and whatever, but like the bottom line is this: it's possible, and I'm going to show you how. So let's dig in. But first, because I always forget to do this, hey, if you get something out of this video while you're watching, can you like it, or maybe subscribe if you're not? Comment something that you got out of it, or a question you have, or whatever. Like, I check all that stuff, but that will help YouTube think, oh, this video is not worth, like, it's worth a shit. Maybe we should show it to other service members. And the more people we get this in front of, the more people we help. And my goal in the next decade is to help 10,000 service members and vets achieve financial freedom. I don't know 10,000 people personally. Like, I mean, I have followers, but like, I don't know them. So if you know somebody, you're like, oh my gosh, this would be perfect for so-and-so, please share it with them or tag them or whatever. I don't know, whatever the cool thing is these days. So anyway, I digress. Let's dig in. The very first step is to set clear financial goals. And really what this boils down to is creating a vision for yourself and getting clear about what you want your life to look like. So I have coached hundreds of vets now. And the number of people who reach out to me, I mean, and this is thousands, that people who reach out to me that I don't coach or we haven't coached together yet. And they reach out and they've got questions and they're like, hey, I'm looking at real estate investing, but I can't decide between wholesaling and syndications and this and that or whatever, right? I can't decide amongst a million different things. And they're like, what do you think? And I go, well, what do you want your life to look like in 5 to 10 years? And they just stall. It's absurd. I mean, it makes sense, right? I was there once. But like, the reality is this: if you don't sit down and get clear on what you want your life to look like, you can't answer any other questions. Because if your answer is, I want to be rich, fucking great. So does everybody. But like, what does that look like? Is that I'm rich because I work a crazy ass job in a firm as an attorney and I have no freedom at all and I'm tied to my W-2, but I have good income? Is that rich because I'm running a multi-million-dollar business with 100,000 employees and I have no freedom? Is that I invested my money well and I'm sitting on a beach drinking a Mai Tai and doing absolutely nothing for the rest of my life other than trying to avoid getting fat because I don't do anything? Like, what does that look like for you? So sit down. There's a book called Vivid Vision. I recommend you check it out, or if you're interested in the War Room or whatever, you'll get to watch their presentation to our community and the template that we have for it. But sit down and craft a vision for what your life will look like. And this, I mean, get crazy. Don't hold back. Like, what do you want it to look like? What is perfect life for you? Some people that's on the beach in a fast-paced city. Some people that's in the woods, leave me the hell alone, right? What does life look like for you? Are you working? Are you not? Are you building something? Are you not? Like, are you investing actively or are you not? Like, what does life look like for you? What does your family look like? Where do you live? What kind of vehicles do you drive? All the things. From that, you can back plan the rest. Okay, well, if I want to be there in 10 years, no matter how crazy and out of the realm of realistic, how crazy and out of reach it feels, if I want to be there in 10 years, then by 5 years, I should probably be here. By 3 years, by 1 year. Well, shit, if I want to do that in a year, then over the next quarter, I should probably do this. And then that means I probably need to do this month. Okay, well, then my goal should be this. Like, if my goal is to own 1,000 doors in 10 years, that means 100 a year. Realistically, you probably won't buy 100 year one, so it'll probably be like 10, 40, 100, 120, 120, 120 until you catch it. Like, whatever, however that looks, right? Plan it out for yourself. What do you think you can do, and don't get stuck in like possibility, like what do you want to achieve? And then set goals for that. So if your goal is to buy 10 houses, then hey, in this month, it's not I have to buy a house this month. It's I need to meet agents and lenders and find people who will lend me money and find investors and figure out what that business model is going to be and begin taking the actions that will set me up for that success. And this is why, like, I can't tell you if you should be a wholesaler or a syndicator without knowing your vision, because wholesaling is super active. You make good money quick, but you don't have equity. You have to keep doing it. And if you don't feed the beast, the business dies and you go broke. Syndications, you have to have money to do it, or a team and a network of investors. There's a lot more that goes into it. But once it's set up and busy and running, theoretically, you can just do nothing. Sit on a beach, enjoy Mai Tais, try to avoid getting fat, right? So like, or you invest in index funds. You don't even have to be in real estate. And you're just totally passive. Like there are a lot of ways to do it, but if you don't know where you're going, it doesn't matter. So set clear goals. They've got to be, smart goals, right? It's specific, measurable, action, like attainable, time bound, like whatever the R is, realistic. So just set goals, be very specific about I'm going to do X by Y via, Z. I don't know. So number 2, create a budget and stick to it. I have videos going into detail on budgeting, so I'm going to go really simple here. If you don't know where your money's going, you're going to spend it on things that don't help you achieve your goals. So just look at where your money's going and tweak it to make sure that where your money's going is matching the lifestyle you want it to. I'm not saying you can't spend any money. You have to live on ramen and freaking Bush Light for the rest of your life. Like, enjoy life, but don't blow $1,000 a month on booze if your goal is to be healthy, right? Like, cut the booze out. Hope you get what I'm saying. Like, if you don't know where your money's going, just track it for the next 30 to 90 days. Figure out where your money's going, what you're spending it on, and then tweak it accordingly. You don't have to save every dollar and scrimp and live a terrible, like miserable, frugal lifestyle. You just have to know where the money's going and spend it in places that help you achieve your goals, as well as still enjoying life. 3, save aggressively. Savings gap is the fastest way to achieve financial freedom. So, the more money you can save out of your paycheck, so the less you spend or the more you earn and the gap in between increases, then the faster you can achieve financial freedom. So save aggressively, meaning cut expenses, boost income, save the difference. The boosting income can be cutting out debt. Like if you have credit cards, pay them off. That'll boost, how much that'll cut your expenses and simultaneously, like it'll boost your savings gap. So, either avenue to increase how much money you save out of every dollar you earn is going to be freeing you up for investing in financial freedom. Number 4, invest wisely. Personally, I love the thrift savings plan. Especially if you're on the blended retirement, at least be putting 5% in there and get the matching contribution. You're never going to be able to beat 100% guaranteed return on investment day one backed by the government in any investment you do. Sorry, there's just nowhere else is going to guarantee that. So take at least the matching contribution and contribute it to the TSP. Personally, I would do more than that. Do whatever you're comfortable with. Have a savings or an emergency fund. And then invest wisely. So invest in things you know. So if you want to get into real estate world, deep dive it. That's what you know. Don't get sucked into other get rich quick things. If you're the crypto guy, great. Don't get sucked into real estate if you don't know what it is. But more importantly and more realistically, like if you're the real estate guy, don't get sucked into crypto every time the value goes up and all the crypto bros get really loud. And then when the value goes down, they all get really quiet for a couple of years. And then it goes up, they get really loud. Don't get sucked into that if you don't understand it. Crypto and that whole world can be really lucrative and you can do well, but you have to know what you're doing. And so if that's not this isn't an argument about either option. This is an argument about investing where you understand. So if you haven't done the research, don't invest there. All right, there's this post that I see all the time in my Facebook group of people like, I make this much money. What should I do with it? I actually did a solo podcast episode on this about 2 months ago. So go check it out. And the answer is stop, figure out what your goals are, figure out how you want to invest, really learn about that investment strategy, and then start making decisions. If you tell people you have money to invest, there's going to be 100 different opportunities thrown your way. And most of them are going to be more beneficial for the person offering the opportunity than they are for you. So get really solid on what you want, understand the niche that you want to invest in, get around people doing that, surround yourself with like-minded people in that niche, and really start working towards that version of financial freedom, right? Like invest wisely in that asset class. The perfect example of this is I did a podcast episode with Steve Trang. He runs the Real Estate Disruptors podcast. He is the king of like sales for wholesaling, right? Just a stud, a great dude. He's in Scottsdale or Phoenix, Arizona. I love the dude. Did an interview with him, and at the end of the interview, I asked him, like, what's the biggest financial mistake you've ever done? And he pointed above his head, and he started laughing. He's like, this is a printout of an NFT, which is like the crypto world thing for those who don't know. An NFT that I bought for, I don't remember the exact number, like $120,000. He's like, and today I couldn't sell it for 20. And his point there wasn't that the non-fungible token, the NFT, was bad. It's that he didn't understand the game. He got sucked into the hype of NFTs that was going on that time.
He's a wholesaling and sailing wizard, and NFTs are not wholesaling and sales wizard. So anyway, long story short, invest wisely, invest in what you know, research, be smart, right? Number 5, develop multiple income streams. This can be side hustles. This can be, really the point here is to increase your income, right? So you're trying to increase your income, decrease expenses, recurring theme here, increasing that savings gap. And this could be done in many different ways. This could be getting that raise at your job. Yeah, that's a same income stream, but it's more. But it could be side hustles, like taking on an Uber gig, working weekends somewhere, building a product, or having a skill set that you develop to sell services or sell a product or whatever. It could be, rental properties. Like you buy a rental property, that's an income stream. You buy another rental property, that's an income stream. You buy another rental property, that's an income stream. At the early point of the game, while appreciation is great, you want stuff that pays you month over month so that you can recoup your investment capital to throw into other things, and then it'll grow. So if you make $100 on a property every month, and then you buy another one, now you make $200 every month, and then $300 every month, and $400 every month, and then before you know it, you're making $3,000 every month, and then it's much faster to save up for properties. That's kind of the theory here. So that's developing those extra income streams. Number 6, for the love of all that is holy, leverage your military benefits, right? So if you're going to go to school, use the GI Bill or tuition assistance. If you're, looking to house hack, or if you're looking to buy a house hack. I've got entire webinars on house hacking with the VA loan, and I encourage you to watch them here on YouTube and really deep dive that. But if you buy a house like a fourplex and you rent out the other rooms, you live for damn near free, then that cuts your expenses and allows you to increase your savings gap. If you, leverage the medical stuff, if you've got an issue while you're in, instead of paying for stuff out in town, get a referral. Really know your benefits. Like if you're 100% P&T in your state, then get your property taxes waived. Whatever it takes in order for you to to effectively use your military benefits to your advantage, right? Leverage them, be smart. Number 7, network and learn, right? So learning is always going to be something I recommend, right? You want to be reading, researching, podcasting, YouTubing, Googling, exploring, whatever, asking questions that you want answers to in order to make you a better investor, more intelligent business owner, make sure you're comfortable making the decisions that you're making, all of that stuff. But the networking piece, right? Get around people who are doing what you want to do, have achieved what you want to achieve. Sometimes that means you got to pay. Like if you want to join the war room, you got to pay to join the war room, but you're going to be around a whole group of service members and vets who are all striving towards financial freedom. Or maybe that's you pay more and you go learn about multifamily investing specifically from somebody who coaches that, like Jake and Chino. Or, wholesaling from 7-Figure Flipping with my buddy Bill Allen and Adam Whitney, and you go learn from them and you pay for that. Like, you don't have to pay. You can just focus on building really good relationships with people that are doing what you want to do. That's a great, very viable option. But sometimes you got to pay, right? Like if you want somebody's attention and they're super busy, you got to make it worth their while. So you got to find a way to bring them incredible value, or you've got to pay to, attend their courses or whatever. It's just the reality, right? And I'll tell you, I have made infinitely more money from paying people for advice than I have when I lost money because I didn't ask anyone. And boy, I've lost money from not asking questions or being around, networking or whatever. So really spend time building out your network and learning and being able to ask questions of people and just be genuinely curious and helpful to everyone you run across. 8, stay disciplined, be patient. Like investing the right way is slow. It's boring. It's consistency, right? It's like the old complacency kills thing in the military. Consistency doesn't kill. I don't know where I'm going with that, but look, get rich fast is sexy, but it rarely works. Get rich for sure, or get rich slow works. It's time, it's tried and true. You are investing in yourself over time, and it will compound, and then it speeds up. Like Warren Buffett didn't make his first billion until he was like 60 years old. Now he's like the wealthiest investor out there. Like, because it hockey sticks, it compounds. It wasn't like his first few trades made him a billionaire and then he kind of just coasted. Like, it takes time to get there, but then it speeds up and you get better. So just stay disciplined, stay consistent, work on making that savings gap larger. And then, hey, when the time comes, give back. You're reaching for that hand up, make sure you give that hand down. Like, pull people up with you, improve your circle, help make people's lives better. And the other benefit to this is when you teach or help or whatever, you learn that subject better. Like, when you teach something, you become more of an expert in it than when you just do it, right? That's just natural. When you teach a subject, you learn it. That's why we do teach backs in the military. That's why we, when you learn something, you do practical application and you do it, and then you teach someone how to do it. Like, the more you learn something is great, but taking action and doing it is better. And then after you take action, teaching other people to do it and having to watch their way and critique and help them along is how you really start to develop that expert muscle. So give back, because it's good for both you and everybody you give back to. I'm sure there's a lot of other ways that I could go with this video, but that's it, man. Becoming a millionaire is consistency, it's investing intelligently, and it's increasing your savings gap and continuing to invest more and more and more. And just don't touch the principal, at least not right now. So you'll get there. Keep freaking crushing it. Love you guys.